I took the occasion to call it a solo album and did it that way.
So what happened? Did you put that on hold, and then the Wilburys happened?
Yeah, when the Wilburys started to happen.
Whose idea was that?
George's, I think.
Yeah?
You'd have to blame George. It began slowly. We were all in the same area. I think Jeff was probably the catalyst for George and myself and Roy Orbison being around. Jeff had been after Roy Orbison for ages to do a record. And so when Roy had moved to Malibu, which isn't far away from where we were, so he would come around, and he was real nice, and we wrote a couple of songs, Jeff and Roy and myself. And so during the same sessions for Full Moon Fever, we would just say, okay, well, today we're going to do one for Roy. And we had the same band of Phil Jones and Mike and Jeff and me. And so, okay, put Roy up to the mic, and it's a Roy Orbison record today. And we did the same thing with the Randy Newman one day. Did a track for Randy. And Del Shannon and all, so, you know,
yeah,
all the pals started coming over. We were just in Mike Campbell's garage, you know, just really literally pull the cars out, you know, and we'd run cables and mics out there and had a 24 track in the spare bedroom. So it was very informal recording, but anyway, to tell you about the Wilburys, it all grew out of that to some degree. George was around, and he wanted to add a track to a 12-inch single he was releasing. They were all out at dinner, as the story goes, Roy and Jeff and George, and they said, well, we'll help you do it, and so he phoned me. His guitar was at my house, and he said, I got to come get my guitar. I'm going to do this session tomorrow. Do you want to play? And I said, sure, I'd love to play. So the quickest studio available, I think, was probably the reason they phoned Bob Dylan.
Right.
And we went to Bob's house, and while we were there, Bob got interested in what was going on. And once again, we were out in the garage, you know, trying to, George had I think he had the basis of this tune, Handle with Care. He could play the chords to it, and then we were all out in the grass, and, you know, and Jeff would say, well, how about this? And then, so the words just started to come. We were all sitting there throwing in words, and it was so easy, you couldn't believe it. It was so easy. And so once the track was done, I think at that point, George and Jeff had always, they had this thing about the traveling Wilburys. You know, it was some fictitious band in their mind, and that it kept going. You know, it was a running joke. And so I think at that point, George thought, well, you know, we could just be a group.
Just got to change tape.
Okay.
Right. We're on.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
We're
you
up
want
to
me
the
to
garage,
pick up?
yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, we were all out there being the Wilburys all of a sudden, because that was the logical name. And then we just started in hanging around even more than we were, which was a lot, and doing the Wilburys and writing the songs. It wasn't much time to ever, you know, reflecting on it is hard because it was done so quickly. There wasn't much time to think or make any decisions, or we didn't plan anything. We just started going until it was done.
I mean, from the outsider,